Okay, so what is that missing link that's always overlooked?
Well, when you kind of think back to anything, it goes back to, you got to trace it back and always ask why. That's the kind of kid I was. Well, why? And when you do that, you go back. It goes back to the nervous system, and whether you've been told that it's it's a chemical imbalance, it's a brain imbalance, but why, right? Not just like it is, and then this is how we're going to treat that. But why does it happen in the first place? And many times this nervous system overlook is really simply the nervous system being in a cascade of a sympathetic dominant state to where it's more ADHD and is really, that's all they use now, right? It used to be like ADD and ADHD, but now it's just ADHD across the board. But it's really broken down into a couple different formats. But with that, it's this nervous system is really in more of that protective state. And if you've ever been under stress, it's hard to focus, it's hard to learn, because your brain needs to be in that prefrontal cortex to learn to focus, to have ease, to have the sensory system work appropriately. Because if it's in a sympathetic state, our senses heighten, right? And that's where sensory processing just becomes louder. That's where anxiety becomes more. That's where lack of focus becomes harder, because we're more in that running from a lion state. And so that's where a lot of this missing link comes from, and where and why their systems may get into that state. A lot of times started many years ago, if not even pre-birth. Like maternal stress is a big one, because maternal cortisol passes placenta, can affect the brain and nervous system development, birth process in of itself, forceps, vacuum, Pitocin, C-sections, all can kind of start this process, and it could have been showing up even early on. That's just been overlooked and kind of grew into where it's at now.